Hello.
Hello, Gito. Do you hear and see me clearly?
Yeah, both are okay. I can hear and see you clearly. How about me?
Okay, great. Yes, I can also hear and see you clearly.
Okay, that's perfect.
All
So,
right.
how are you today?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. How about you? Are you doing okay over there in Bulgaria?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I had, online classes
Mm-hmm.
in this morning. Like, I had three classes.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was a little bit tired, but I took a nap for like 20 minutes. So,
Mm-hmm.
I'm now refreshed.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, maybe after this lesson, I have another lesson with
Mm-hmm.
Filipino man teacher here in DMM. And after that class,
Mm-hmm.
I will go out to buy some groceries for my dinner.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's kind of really ordinary day too. But yeah, I've been enjoying life here.
Mm-hmm. Great. So, yesterday we talked about your situation over there in Bulgaria and
Mhm.
some discrimination
That's right.
experiences that you have gone through. So, I'm just curious.
Yeah, yeah.
Is medicine in Bulgaria better than medicine in Japan?
To be honest, no. I mean, the level of medicine here, like generally in East Europe,
Mm-hmm.
is not really high in terms of the level of medicine. So, for example, in the US or in German, they have really, high level of medicine, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in, countries like Bulgaria or Greece,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Turkey, they don't have uh, as good medicine
Mm-hmm.
as those in US or German. So, it goes same with Japan. Japanese medicine is actually better than Bulgarian, level of medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe that is also one of the reasons why Japanese medical university is more difficult for us to enter, I think.
Mm-hmm. Um, all right. But prior
Mhm.
to flying to Bulgaria, did you try
Mhm.
to undergo entrance exam in some Japanese universities?
Actually, no, I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I wasn't smart enough,
Mm-hmm.
but still I didn't try because uh, Japanese, examination for university is really unique and
Mm-hmm.
complicated, and it's also really difficult because they don't require us to be able to speak English
Mm-hmm.
or to be able to listen to English perfectly, but
Mm-hmm.
instead, you require us to be good at grammar, to be good at like vocabulary instead. So actually, the English skills that Japanese university require us is not really practical, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really difficult, but not really practical, and that's why so many people struggle with, the examination of Japanese university, including medical university in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, something like that. And but mathematics, science subject, they are all difficult. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is that also the reason why you opted or you chose
Mhm.
Bulgaria to?
Yeah, yeah, right.
Mm,
I really wasn't smart enough.
mm.
Yeah.
So
So,
in Japan, after you
mhm.
graduated in high school, does Japan allow high school or senior high school students to proceed with medicine right away, or does Japan still require senior high
Mhm.
to get pre-medical degree first before proceeding to medicine? So what is the situation in Japan?
Yeah, that's a good question. We don't have, like you said, like pre-medical courses.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, let's say grade 12 students, like the last year of
Mm-hmm.
high school students can enter medical university in Japan
Mm-hmm.
directly. But, mostly, they need to study more
Mm-hmm.
because for example I can say like materials or like what they study in grade 12 is not really enough to pass the examination for medical university in Japan. So
Mm-hmm.
usually they study more after they graduate from their high school, like 1 year 2 years. They study for like several years sometimes in
Mm-hmm.
order for them to be smart enough to
Mm-hmm.
pass the exam. So it's rare for Japanese students in grade 12
Mm-hmm.
to right away enter directly enter the medical university. But we don't have
Pre-medical
pre
course.
course, yeah.
Mm. You know, that's the reason why in the Philippines it seems
Mhm,
that when a student takes up medicine, it looks as if it would take 10 years or less
mhm,
than 10 years. It's because that student is still required to undergo or to get a pre-medical course before he proceeds to getting medicine
mhm,
degree
mhm.
or medical degree.
Yeah, I think that's better. I mean, because as a matter of fact, in Japanese medical university, so many university students have difficulty catching up their study in the
Mm-hmm.
university because like I said, what they are doing in their high school is completely different from those what they learn in their universities, I mean medical universities.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they can't catch up sometimes, and they sometimes quit, drop out,
Mm-hmm.
or you know quit the university. So that's a fact. Maybe Japanese students or maybe Japanese government has to do something to
Mm-hmm.
it,
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
should step by step course, I think.
Yeah, because I'm thinking if more and more medical students would drop out, or if there's only um, little population of medical students that would be reaching medical universities, then the question is who would be the future doctors in Japan if there's gonna be less and less students who would be qualified to the medical universities. Although it's really important that medical universities, not just in Japan but everywhere in the world, should
Mhm.
be strict enough to filter those serious ones and those qualified ones. But at the same time, they should not be too harsh to produce quality students or to admit students who have the potential but were not able to reach the, let's say, the quota of the grades or the um, the minimum score that they require. Because in the long run, I think Japan will have a massive problem with, you know, producing doctors or medical professionals if they're too strict.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, Japan has faced so many times. Japan, has faced the shortage of number of doctors. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, actually, the why it happened is obviously because the examination for medical university was too difficult, and it could have been easier because we can cover them when they are in university. And actually in Japanese university, there's a saying in Japan, in terms of medical students in Japan. It's like they are smarter when they I'm sorry, they are smarter before they enter the university,
Mm-hmm.
and when they graduate from the medical universities, they are not as smart as they were
Mm-hmm.
before they entered the university.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, their level of brain actually lowered compared to when they entered. So that's a fact. It's really
Yeah.
pointless.
Yeah, because they're already stressed out. I mean, if a student would only focus his life with his academics, he's not gonna be able to balance other areas of his life. So the tendency is instead of becoming more intelligent, the student
Mhm.
becomes less intelligent than he previously was.
Right, right. Yeah, that's the problem actually.
Yeah, I think just like what you said earlier, the Japanese government should do something about it. Maybe they should amend few areas in medical universities, or maybe they should conduct a study or research and somehow update the qualifications for those aspiring medical students.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, that's right. The another problem of Japanese medicine is that in most countries in this world,
Mm-hmm.
medicine is learned in English, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in
Yep.
Philippines it's same, medicine is learned, studied
Yes.
in, right? But in Japan, it's not, we learn, medicine all in Japanese. So, you know, what problem it poses is that because the number of foreigners coming to Japan has been, increasing over the last several years.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, the more foreigners visit, hospital, clinic in Japan, and Japanese don't speak English. This is a problem because doctors and patients have to be able to communicate each other, right? They
Yes,
have
yes.
to make each other understand.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a problem actually. I actually have some friends from like Philippines or from England in Japan,
Mm-hmm.
but they taught me they always have difficulty when they went to a clinic or hospital because they were also new in Japan, so they don't speak Japanese, and doctors can't speak English. So yeah, actually that seems so tough to be honest. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially when a doctor needs to diagnose the situation of his patient, communication
Mhm,
is very important. So if there's a language barrier between a non-Japanese patient with a
mhm.
Japanese doctor or
Yeah, yeah,
Japanese medical professional, that would
yeah. Mhm,
become a an eventual problem.
mhm. That's
So
right. That's right.
yeah. So
Yeah.
have you spoken with your parents regarding your sentiments that you're having difficulty communicating with with locals in Bulgaria, and that it could be a problem with you as you progress for the upcoming years? Have you
Mhm.
said your sentiments with them?
With my parents.
Yes.
Yeah, I told them that I always had difficulty, communicating with them. But, because since I chose to study here
Mm-hmm.
and I chose this country in the end, so I cannot, I cannot say like, I cannot say like, I want to go back to Japan because, Bulgarian people can't speak English. I always have to speak Bulgarian. I cannot get used to this culture. I cannot say like this because this is my choice. I chose to study here, and I should have known the language here was Bulgarian, and that's my bad actually. So I told them, but I cannot give up because of the problem of
Mm,
language. Yeah, yeah, maybe, but if I learn Bulgarian
mm,
seriously, maybe I'm gonna be able to catch some words at least in
mm,
Bulgarian. Maybe be able to communicate a little bit at least.
mm,
So yeah, that's not a problem. Yeah, that's not a problem for now.
mm.
Yeah.
But at least you were able to communicate with your parents. But in the event that one day you would tell them, I want to go back to Japan, how do you think they would react? Are they gonna be mad at you that you should have known at first or at the beginning that you might have difficulties understanding Bulgarian? How are they going to react?
I'm sure, they won't be mad at me
Mm-hmm.
because I'm kind of really proud of my parents. They are really understandable. They have been always really understandable, and they always, hmm, they always not always agreed with me, but they always thought about what you know thought about my best way, thought about my best track. So actually, I think they will react
Mm-hmm.
a little bit sad. They will feel a little bit sad because I chose here, but I think they will finally understand if I really want to go back to Japan. I
Mm-hmm.
think. I mean, especially if it's because my, you know, my health is not really good. The reason is if the reason is like that, I think they will understand surely. But if the reason is the only language, I think they will not understand because I have to overcome that that kind of problems.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, on a positive note, I you may be struggling a little when it comes to language barrier, but
Mhm.
in the long run, you're gonna add more skills to yourself, especially
Mhm.
when we talk about developing another foreign language, which is Bulgarian. So that's gonna be added to your special skills, communicating in Bulgarian. So instead of considering it as a challenge, you can consider it as like sort of advantage because you will be learning a different language and apply
Mhm.
that to your medical learning journey.
Yeah, that's actually true. That's true. I mean, and furthermore, I surely I will meet Bulgarian like students in my university.
Mm,
Although I international course, I will meet Bulgarian students too. So when the time comes, it's better for me to be able to speak Bulgarian just a little bit at least.
mm,
So yeah, that's why I sometimes learn Bulgarian, but I only have memorized the letters in Bulgaria so
mm,
far. Maybe and greetings, some greetings. So maybe I better study more and hopefully be able to communicate at least. Yeah,
mm,
because I don't have to be so fluent in Bulgaria. I just have to be able to make myself understood with easy words or
mm,
easy phrases and greetings. So
mm,
that's my goal in Bulgarian language.
mm. Yeah, everything starts with getting yourself familiarized with some common expressions and common sentences. So everything starts with all those few phrases or expressions. You know,
Yeah, that.
sorry, go ahead.
Mhm. Yeah, because for example, when I was in high school, yeah, when I was in high school, I met a Japanese student. I met a Japanese student
Mm-hmm.
who spoke English with I think like with about like 50 words, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
50 words, but he was really conversational because
Mm-hmm.
his vocabulary was not really good, I can say that. He only used really easy words like take, get, something like that. And
Mm-hmm.
and some prepositions like away, on,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like so on. But he spoke really well, and he completely was able to communicate well. So maybe the what matters in learning language is that it's not memorizing as many vocabulary, as many words as possible. I think it's more like how conversational we can become. So yeah, maybe I shouldn't be too stressed out to learn Bulgarian, but instead
Mm-hmm.
I have to enjoy studying Bulgarian.
Exactly. So, you just have to focus on the brighter side instead of focusing on, the challenges that you are going through. After all, as a student, you must enjoy the journey while you're learning and while you're progressing. So I think that's the main point of studying
Mhm.
while you're waiting for that day to get your college or medical degree.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Yeah.
Actually, earlier this morning, I spoke with my American friend and I mentioned you and your situation over there in Bulgaria. And he said, when we were conversing, he was looking at his laptop or maybe desktop, and he said that um,
Mhm.
the country of Bulgaria has like a more severe situation when we talk about COVID-19 compared to Japan. So he said that I should remind you to take extra care while you're away from your home country.
Okay.
Yeah.
You- Yeah, thank you. I'm also grateful for him. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll tell him that as well. So,
Yeah.
because he said there's like a category from level 1 to 4. So, Bulgaria Bulgaria belongs to level 4, which is the most severe, and then Japan belongs to just level 2, which is just moderate. So, he said that well, he mentioned that you shouldn't have left, but on the positive note, you're a
Mhm.
young man and you're um, maximizing your learning journey elsewhere. So that's the most important thing.
Mhm.
Enjoy your student life and learn as much knowledge as possible so you can become an effective medical practitioner in the future.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
All right, you're welcome, Gito. So anyway, I'm sorry we no longer have time. So good luck
Mhm.
with your endeavors over there in Bulgaria, and just stay safe and stay healthy. Okay.
Yeah, you too. Please take care. Yeah.
Okay. So have a great. Is it afternoon over there?
Yes, it's 5:57.
Okay. So almost evening. So have a great evening ahead. So let's talk soon. Okay.
Yeah, have a good night
Uh,
and have a good weekend. Thank you so much.
alright. あなたは私の友達です。バイバイ。
Thank you so much.
どうもありが
Bye bye.
とう。Thank you.
Yeah.